What's up everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a BMW G20 330e in a workshop for a DCE Parts Downpipe, Catback and a FEMTO Unlock with a remap from PSR Parts. This car has visited us before already, so the ECU has already been taken out, shipped to FEMTO for the unlock. It is up to us to install the hardware that is required to make the car sound better. This car already has an Axleback exhaust, a custom-made one. However, the customer is not entirely happy with how the build quality is of the exhaust and how the valves work. Currently, the car sounds pretty okay, but the design of the Axleback exhaust on this car can of course be more efficient. So we have chosen to install the DCE Parts Catback exhaust that removes the OPFs. The downpipe will be a 200 cell one, and of course then the Axleback from DCE Parts, which works with a valve controller. This car already has a MST intake, as you can see over here. It is the G20 with the B48B20A engine, so not the B, it's the A engine. That means that there are some limitations in terms of tuning. However, we can of course achieve beautiful numbers with this platform as well. So that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna remap the car and optimize it for the specification that is of course installed on this car. So walk you around the car. On the back you can already see that it has the quad tips installed with an Axleback. We'll show the Axleback later. And compare it to the design of our Axleback. So actually looks pretty okay, but we'll of course install our Axleback with the DCE Parts exhaust tips. So before we start, I will also explain to you why we think that the Axleback exhaust can be installed in a better way. As you can see, there's a blue hose going over here, which probably goes underneath the car. We haven't lifted the car yet. This blue hose bypasses the engine bay here, goes to the right, to the brake cylinder over there, and that means that this vacuum hose is actually getting vacuum from the brake cylinder, which isn't the best way to install a Valvetronic system. We of course have an electric system. For DCE Parts, we also provide vacuum systems, but if we install a vacuum system, the vacuum system is controlled by a separate module in the back of the car, which means it's completely separate from the engine components or the brake components, so you never get the issue with, for example, brake fading or whatever, vacuum loss, because you control the valves. And this is of course one of the ways that you can install a Valvetronic exhaust, but we think we can do it better by installing a separate controller that is not influencing anything in the engine bay. So like I said, this car already has the FEMTO Unlock arranged by PSR Parts. The ECU is right over here. Customer brought the ECU to us, so it means that the car didn't have to be here for about 1 week, 1.5 weeks. It means that this ECU is now unlocked for a remap through the OBD flasher from FEMTO. So that's what we're going to do on this car. Once the downpipe and the Catback has been installed, you of course need to remove the CAT and OPF error. But also, if you are going to work on this car anyway, why not remap it to a stage 2? Additional power will make this car feel a lot faster, without compromising on the durability of the engine, if it is used properly of course. So it will be a safe tune, stage 2, with the DCE Parts 200 cell downpipe and our Catback exhaust. So before we start, we'll of course show you how the exhaust sounds with the custom-made Axleback exhaust. And then afterwards we'll show you how it sounds with the DCE Parts Catback exhaust 200 cell downpipe. So here we go. Here we are under the car. Quacky has already uninstalled everything from the exhaust. So you can see the turbos over here, downpipe has been removed. This hanging hose right here is the vacuum hose that goes from the front to the back. We'll remove that because it's not necessary anymore with our system. We'll walk to the back. The 330e exhaust is different from my 330i because there's batteries involved in here. So the exhaust is just slightly different. Similar but different. So we'll walk to the components that we have from DCE parts and from the original exhaust. We have them all spread out over here. I will walk you through the differences from the original exhaust and of course the Axleback exhaust that come off the car. So here you can see, this is the Axleback that came off the exhaust, that came off the car. And that one over there is the DCE parts exhaust. And I'll walk you through the differences. Customer complained that the Axleback exhaust did not provide equal airflow through the left one and the right one, left tips and the right tips. And you can see clearly why. So this is where the Axleback connects to the original mid-pipe. And here you can see the valve, the vacuum valve that connects to the vacuum hoses. If this is closed, the airflow will go through the muffler, and somewhere in here probably there's there's something that allows the airflow to go through the left exhaust tip, and here there's an extra branch for the right ones, but this one is of course not in the airflow, which means that if you open the valves or close the valves, either way, the exhaust flow will never really reach this exhaust tip over there. That is because of exhaust gases, of course, goes to the pipe with the least resistance, and that is the left one. So if we look over here, we have explained this exhaust in other videos already, but I'll explain it again. Here it connects to the mid-pipe. There's a Y piece right over there that allows the exhaust flow to spread evenly, and with the exhaust closed, everything will go through the rear muffler over here, and with the exhaust valves opened, everything will bypass the rear muffler equally. So because we are using this design, it means that the DCE parts will have equal exhaust flow left and right, with the valves open and closed. So that means through the exhaust tips you will have equal exhaust gases flowing through, and you will also see that on the car. So this is a European car, has OPS on it. You can see it on the downpipe over there, but also on the mid-pipe. So this big box is often mistaken for a resonator, but this is actually the OPF. This blocks a lot of the sound, so what we are doing, we are installing the DC parts mid-pipe that connects to the rear section here. This section is also special for the 330e, but we'll head back to the mid-pipe first. So this is a resonated one, makes the car sound deeper without making it too obnoxious without the OPFs. This box is the actual OPF, and the pressure sensors are on the downpipes. So for these cars with the OPF, you will need a downpipe with the OPF sensors. This one is the DC parts 200 cell downpipe with the heat shields, and in here is a 200 cell catalytic converter. You see that it's a lot smaller, and it also has heat shields, so it also has benefits with the heat dissipation. Will keep the exhaust flow quicker through the exhaust. And this is just, plain, I think it's stainless steel. Plain stainless steel, and it's a lot bigger, so this is a lot less restrictive. Back to the last part over here. So the last part is a bent piece, but is also flattened because of the extra bracing on the 330e. So this is the actual brace that makes it a little bit more difficult. As you can see through here, the exhaust passes through in between the batteries, and then it has to go over here, and this is the piece that needs to be flattened. Otherwise you are gonna touch some braces or the axles. So we'll connect all the exhaust pieces together from DCE parts and then put it on the car, which means we have a full catback exhaust. It's actually a turbo back exhaust if you also install the downpipe. So with this, we expect a huge difference compared to the original exhaust that was on the car, but also of course this exhaust that limits the airflow to one side. With our exhaust, the airflow is equal between both sides, and it's a true bypass, so it does not pass a muffler first, it is a true bypass. And electric valves, so we can remove the vacuum hose that is on the car right now and make it sound better. Here we go, we have the catback exhaust from DCE parts installed, and as you can see it's already a huge difference. The Axleback right over here is a true bypass design with a Y piece over here, true bypass, so equal airflow left and right. And if you close the valves over here, everything will go through the center muffler here. So on the Axleback we have also installed the quad tips, left and right of course, one over here, one over here. This design is suitable for dual tip design as well, so you can install quad tips. If your diffuser is suitable for a quad tip design, or if you want to keep the stock diffuser or the stock design of the diffuser, you can also install dual tips on this exhaust. This is the centerpiece we are talking about, especially designed for the 330e. So this has been flattened to clear the extra braces that the 330e has. And of course, the pipe goes to the center, to the front. It's an OPF delete pipe. This one has a resonator, and if you go to the front, you can see the downpipe just right over here. And that means this is a full catback from DCE parts. So before we test drive the car, we'll of course remap the car first, so the OPF and the CAT errors will not appear on the dashboard. And of course we'll also remap the car to a stage 2. We'll do that by the FEMTO OBD flasher. This car has been unlocked, so we'll do that right now. And then afterwards the car should be ready to run. So here we are, ready to remap the car. So we have our own PSR Parts Performance website, which is of course our file service, and we can show you that right over here. If you go to our remaps, you can find a little bit of details why you should go for PSR parts. So if you go to all our maps, you'll find BMW right over here. And for example, if you want to choose 3 Series, you can find more information right over here. So this is the stage 1 tune. This time it will be a stage 2. This is for the B48B20B engine, and this one is of course a engine. So we will remap the car accordingly. But if you want to use our remaps, you can of course sign into our ECU tuning portal, and you can buy credits from us, and we will do the file service for you. So for example, if you have a 330e and you are a workshop garage, you can go to us, purchase the file and remap the car with of course our expertise and our files that are tailored for the DCE parts, downpipes, catback and the stage 2 tune, whatever. So if you wish to do that and you're not sure about how to sign up, you can of course contact us for more information. So similar story, you have to put the car into ignition, diagnostic mode, by pressing the button 3 times. Then, because this is a FEMTO unlock, we will just follow the steps specified by FEMTO. So here we are now inside the car. The VIN number is available, right to tune, and we'll go to the downloads and then open the file. You'll get a progress bar right over here. You can see the progress of the ECU tune. So here we are inside the BMW G20 330e, test driving the FEMTO Unlock Stage 2 Remap by PSR Parts. So this car has the DCE parts, 200 cell downpipe, Catback exhaust, and of course our Stage 2 Remap. You can already feel the difference right away. It's a much faster car now, and we know these cars really well, of course, so we can do a good comparison between stock and between the aftermarket software in this car. Put the car into manual, and this is the resonated exhaust, so even with the Catback, the valves open, and of course the 200 cell downpipe, the car still really sounds very sophisticated on board. It's nothing too much. Of course you hear the Catback a lot more, but that's of course what you choose for when you go for these kind of exhausts. You hear them more, but it doesn't get drony, and that is of course something that you really don't want in a luxury car like this. Of course it's more towards the sportier side, but it's still a luxury car in terms of what you can do with it. It's a 4-door saloon, comfortable. If you put it into a hybrid mode, the car settles down even with the valves open. We'll do some comparisons with the valves open and closed, of course, but before we do that, we'll of course give you the review of the remap first. So to properly test our ECU remap, we of course do a data log from 2000 RPM, and that's what we're gonna do now. So we have the data log now figured out, and then we can now further test the car, check the data. That's a lot quicker than original. Of course it's different from the B48B20B engine. That one feels a little bit more sporty on the top end. So do another run from third gear, 1500 RPM. Here you go. So we now give you a feedback, a review of the exhaust on higher speeds. So we're driving 100 kilometers an hour right now. The car is still really silent even with the valves open. So this is the sound level that you can expect with the valves open, but if you close it, actually the only thing you hear is turbo noises, because it has an aftermarket intake on it, and that is a perfect combination. The car feels comfortable when you close the valves, but if you open the valves, hell breaks loose. A lot of sound coming out of the exhaust, but this is the perfect balance, I think. So you have a car that is capable of doing both things. So this is how the car sounds with the valves closed during acceleration. On highway speeds, it's like completely silent. Exactly what we want from a car like this. Super comfortable. So we are currently driving with the valves open. And if you close the valves, it's a completely silent car. Or at least at cruising speeds. So you hear the engine on the background. The turbo noises are insane, so fun. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Super happy with the stage 2 remap on this car. Transformed the car. Of course, this is the B48A engine, so the potential is a little bit lower than the B engine, but this stage 2 remap still makes the car a lot more fun to drive. With the DCE parts, Catback exhaust and the 200 cell downpipe, the car is now completely transformed in terms of sound. Of course, it wasn't too bad because it already had an Axleback, but now the exhaust flow is also optimized to go out of the car equally, out of the exhaust tips equally. So you have the same flow left and right. And that is of course great if you pay attention to details like that. That can make the difference between a few horsepower, of course. And now with the electronic valves perfectly installed, the vacuum system in the front of the engine bay has been removed. So the brake booster is now just doing the brake stuff, and the valve stuff is now just doing the valve stuff. Here we are back from our test drive. This car feels totally different now with the FEMTO Unlock. We have remapped the ECU with a PSR Parts Stage 2 remap. Of course, also has the 200 cell heat shield downpipe from DCE Parts and the Catback exhaust for the 330e. Specifically designed for these cars by us, of course. We were the first one that introduced an exhaust for these cars. transformed how the car drives, of course, transformed how the car sounds, and that is of course what we want. I'll show you the back. We have installed the quad tips on these exhausts on this car. So it already had a diffuser from Maxton. Customer had it, I think, for the dual tips, so we have to adjust the diffuser for the quad tips. Sounds amazing, and I think this transformation is a must-have if you have a BMW 330e. Keep in mind that there are a few different versions. This one is from 2020, I think November 2020, which means you had to unlock the car to remap it. And of course, if you have one from 2019 or early 2020, you are remapping the car is a lot easier. This car has been unlocked with the FEMTO Unlock with the B48 with the B48A engine, which means the limitations are a bit lower than the B engine, but still a huge transformation on these BMWs. If you're unsure what engine is inside your BMW 330e, hit us up. We can help you find the right engine code of your car, and of course help you with the remap of these BMW. So I want to thank you guys for watching, like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.